Hi.
Hey guys, welcome back to the In Between podcast.
Welcome.
So, we're going to jump right in. I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad to say that I'm a drink repeater already. It's only been 4 episodes and I still have my strawberry sparkling juice. I had my Zevia cream soda totally ready and I wanted to have that tonight, but none of them were in the fridge, so I didn't want to drink anything warm. But I see you have your cream soda, so
I
I'm a little bit
do.
jealous.
It's inevitable that we're going to be drink repeaters, but it's okay.
It's okay.
We like what we like.
Amen. We just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching the episodes, who's been tuning in. If you tuned in last week, you know that we talked about love languages. That was such a fun topic for us to do, and
So
we
fun.
just
Yeah.
want to thank everybody for voting. We got so many responses, it made me want to cry.
It's little successful things for us that get us excited, and that was just something that validated me that you guys listen. I don't know. It could
Yeah.
just make me excited. Even though this is just like a journal for us as well. We love that people listen and engage, and it was just warming for me anyway.
Yes, I totally agree. When you sent me over, like, Sarah had texted me and she was like, girl, go look at the Instagram. Like, so many people are voting. I was like, I was so surprised to see all the votes. Like, it was so cool to see statistics and, like, it just
It was
felt
so
so,
cool.
so professional. I don't know.
I I wasn't surprised with like what a lot of people were voting, but it was interesting seeing what everybody's vote was.
It was. I'm so glad that we got those responses. So today we're going to be talking about quality versus quantity. Um, and I'm going to leave it at that because we're going to definitely go into depth about that. My first initial thought when we decided on this topic was I kind of pondered, like, oh, you can have quality versus quantity in both platonic relationships and romantic relationships. But I think my struggle personally lies more with platonic. And
Mhm.
so that's where I'm at a very definitive space within the in between, is like struggling with quantity versus quality since I can remember, like, making friends. Um, the romantic side of things, I haven't had a lot of partners and I've never had this tugging of back and forth. Do I want more? Do I want more numbers of them, or do I value more of the quality of them? I've never really had that struggle internally when it came to romantic partners. So I think I just really focused my contributions and my thoughts and my ideas came from more of the platonic side. So that's what I'm going to be talking about a lot today. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. When I think about quality versus quantity, I definitely gravitate towards friendships. However, I also see a little bit of it in my work life.
Mm,
With along with friendships, I definitely think that in the stage of life that we're at in our 20s, we're all about figuring ourselves out, and the friends we might have had in high school, we may not be so close now.
right.
And like being in different careers now, we create friendships there, and yet we're still trying to maintain friendships that we had in our past. So I definitely think that it's not that we don't love those people. I mean, maybe there was something bad that went down, but in my case, it's more so just life happens and you just
Mm-hmm.
grow away. Doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
the love isn't still there, you know? So I definitely think that for sure.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up. Feel I feel the same in the sense that there's really nobody from elementary school or middle or like any throughout my life in school that there's bad blood and that's what kind of disconnected us. It's
Yeah.
more so life happened and we grew apart and our journeys went separate ways. Whether those paths went separate ways in middle school, and we trailed off into different friend groups, or it split off when I moved. I definitely feel like there's a lot of love still there. And as you were talking about that, I was kind of thinking of this hardship that I think sometimes we go through where we want to hang on to those friendships and we want to keep those people, but man, the in between just has different plans for you compared to that person.
Yeah.
And it's almost bittersweet because you know that they're doing what they need to do, and you know, and you're so excited for your own journey. But you
Mhm.
would, again, with the hyper independency episode, if you guys listened, it's wanting sometimes people to be there that can't be on your journey. So I
Yeah.
love that you brought that up.
100%. So, in lieu of what you said previously, I heard you talking about how when you think about quality versus quantity, you think about friendships. And I know you mentioned growing up or elementary
Mm-hmm.
friendships. So, do you want to elaborate on that? Like, what you mean?
Yes. Growing up, I've never really had a big quantity of friends. I have always been able to count my friends on like one hand, and that's no shade towards anybody who is like, oh, like I was her friend. Like, I don't know. Um, but literally, there were people that I knew that I had this deeper connection with than others. And I think at the time in elementary school, if you were to ask my elementary school self, how many friends do you have? I would have said, oh, I have tons. But growing up and realizing, like now in my adulthood, looking back, it's okay to not call them my best friends or my friends or anything like that. Just kind of people that I hung out with at school. Um, so I always knew internally that I valued quality more than quantity. And I was almost afraid to admit that when I was younger. I'm not really sure why. I think it was being constantly defeated by seeing other people have quantity and thinking that I was doing something wrong. I was missing out. There was something wrong with me. I wasn't interesting enough, or I didn't have enough to offer those people to get flocks of people wanting to be in my life. Um, so that was an internal struggle of knowing from a young age that I want friends with a deep connection, but struggling. I mean, when you're young, I think elementary school, it's this transitional period where you're learning to be a human. And then you kind of get to middle school and you think, okay, great. I know how to be kind of a human being at this point. But then you face those struggles of puberty and uh, dealing with your body changing, your mind, your hormones, whatever, and kind of finding friendships. And then you think, oh, high school, it'll be great. I'll have established friendships. It will be smooth sailing. And then
Yeah.
you get to high school and it's sort of this, whoa, everybody else is kind of in their own world, but they want to be popular, they want to be well known, and they're kind of seeking for the quantity friendships. But secretly, I think most people want quality, but they're maybe also afraid to admit that. So I was always going through these internal struggles, one after another, of I know I value deep connection, but I want the numbers because numbers to me equated with value. It was if you have more friends, it seemed like to me that that meant that you're more likable, you have more to offer, you're more interesting, whatever, whatever, the
Yeah.
things that I listed before. Um, so that was very hard for me in my small child brain to like deal with
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that was a struggle for sure.
You 100%. I feel like when you're in those um years of your life, I definitely think that it's hard to evolve from people because you see them every day. So,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think in elementary, you establish friendships. Those are just like you're learning how to make friends. I definitely think that. I don't even
Yeah,
remember how I made the friends that I still talk to this day. I'm like, how did we connect? Anyway, it
right.
obviously like I valued I valued all my friendships. I think you can learn from every single friendship. And that alone I think just shows like growth per se as you're going on through life. My middle school years were so dramatic with friendships. I think I wanted to be friends with everybody, but like I just don't have that
Yes.
personality that clicks with everybody and that is okay.
Same.
But I think it's so hard when you're going through those years to accept that because you're like I want to have friends, but I want friends who like want me too. Kind of.
Yes.
I don't think I did not really wanna be popular, but I get what you're saying with, like, wanting lots of friends. I think wanting lots of friends meant you're valued and people like you and they want you around, and I think I just wanted to be liked for knowing that I am valued more so than, like, liked. Like, I'm likable. I just wanted
Yes.
to know that I was valued. Same for everybody
Gosh.
else. Like, I value my friendships, and I think I took a lot of them for granted back in the like, I don't wanna say back in the day because it's really not that long ago, but it is. And just, I would to this day, like, I think we've all changed. We're not the same people we were in high school, and I think it's so hard. I think I'm going a little off topic, but it'll all make sense. But I think that, like, who we are today, if it weren't for those quality friendships during that time, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be who I am today, you know? So, like, I'm
Yep.
not trying to be cliche, but, like, thank y'all for being a friend at a certain time. Like, seeing all of us now scattered, whoever, like, I see in social media and stuff, like, it's so cool seeing how far we have all grown. And regardless of not being that quality aspect in our lives today, I definitely did I say quality? I meant quantity. I don't know if I said that, but I meant quantity, but I valued that quality time that we had
Mm.
during that season, if that makes sense, of our life.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I agree with so much of what you just said. I'm trying not to lose what I wanted to say. I love the comparison of likable versus valued. Oh, that spoke to me so hard just
Yeah.
now about it really was that deep, and I knew it was that deep. I knew that in my friendships, I wanted to be valued, not liked, because there's a lot of people you can like, but maybe if you are a person that values quality, maybe there's less people that you see deeper value in. It's not that you don't value them as a person, but you value them in their friendship and what they have to offer to your dynamic. Um,
Yeah.
so I love that. I love, love, love that.
Yeah. Can't I feel like seeing now how everybody is, it just makes me value, them as people. Like we're all just figuring things out, you know? And I valued them while we were like closer during that season. Um I mean, throughout the years, like, it's good and it can be bad. I mean, you fluctuate with friends all the time, like, if you're really friends, you fight, you get over it, you talk about it. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes, it's, like, good to say, like, "Hey, like, I don't think we're valuing each other in the right sense, and I think that it's time that we need to take a step back."
Mm-hmm.
During those times, I never thought this way, but, like, seeing it now, like, and being older, I definitely don't have hard feelings towards anything or anyone during those times, and I'm I just am thankful that they were in my life when they were, and I think
Yeah.
that that definitely speaks more on the quality because if they're around for a reason, and I definitely saw, like, the quality that we were giving each other, in our friendship during that time, so, yeah, I think that different periods of your life, you can have quantity and then you can have like you said earlier, you can value one sometimes and then you value others other time, like quality the other time. And I definitely
Mhm.
think during those times in school, quantity might have been a bigger on your list than quality because you weren't thinking straight, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's different for everybody. You know, everyone has their different thoughts. Maybe they were like, "No, I was always quality or quantity." Qua Some people probably valued quality more so than they did quantity, and others vice versa, you know? So, yeah,
Yeah, I also wanted to add, I think it really I think where you're at in your school journey or your life journey, and maybe you mentioned this already, but I think it can fluctuate. And I think that's what maybe you were trying to say. Like in elementary school, you're probably, maybe you're not even worried about quality versus quantity because you're
yeah,
literally just trying to learn how to be a human being.
yeah,
But maybe middle school, you're looking for quality because it's a hard time. You're going through changes and struggling maybe mentally just to adjust to everything happening. And maybe you're needing like that one really good friend that you can call and like really talk to and be your support system. High school, maybe you are looking for quantity because people want to be popular or like people want to be well liked and uh people joining different clubs or extracurriculars. And I don't know, I think that high school is it might be very common for people to look for more quantity in high school.
okay.
I almost got them mixed up too. So yeah, I
Excuse me.
think it can definitely fluctuate. That's very interesting. College, I don't, that's an interesting. I would love to hear different perspectives on that because I was about to say immediately you were probably looking for quantity, but I think I retract that. And I think I think a lot of people would look for quality again because it's also a very big transitional time that
Yeah,
you're like, even if you're going to the local community college, you're kind of stepping into this adulthood alone. I've got to figure out how to kind of do things and make decisions for myself.
yeah.
Maybe I'm looking for like that college dorm roommate. I know I was. Oh my gosh. That is a rabbit hole in and of itself, so I'm not going to go into it. But wow, that just made me like realize it ebbs and flows
It
throughout your
does.
life.
It does. I
Yeah.
was, like, thinking about it as you were talking as well, and you said, you know, it's different for everyone. I think it was opposite for me, during middle school. It was more about, like, numbers and wanting
Mm.
friends, but as you transition into high school, I think you are starting to think about the quality of a friendship where your quantity might start dying down because you're thinking more about quality of friendships, and I think that's what it was for me. As for college, I think that going into it, it was quantity. I wanna
Mm.
see like, meet a lot of people, I wanna try and, like, make friendships, and then whoever sticks, like, let's dive into, like, more into that friendship and, like, figuring out who you wanna have quality friendships with,
Mm.
and I definitely think that was how it worked for me. Excuse me. I know in the beginning, I was, like, so nervous. I was, like, antisocial. My roommate was opposite, and thank goodness because she made me go out. She didn't make me go out, but she was very friendly,
Yeah.
and she actually introduced me to my 2nd semester roommate, so it, like, all worked out. But, yeah, I think, like, going into college, you're like, "I wanna, like, just meet a lot of people," and then, like, who sticks, sticks, and I think that you can create quality friendships, like,
Yeah.
throughout, and it just like you said, it ebbs and flows always throughout your life.
Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit to the comment I made sort of at the beginning about the internal struggle I feel with knowing that I value connection, but simultaneously desiring what I think is also value found in quantity. And so I think another factor that plays into that is quantity for me back then, and like maybe up until like my even early 20s, also meant less aloneness. And I think when I started to really feel the struggle of the in-between and the isolation it can create, seeing people have this plethora of people to like choose from, even though
Mhm.
that feels yucky to say, uh, I think I looked at them and was jealous and thought that they were so fortunate to have like a list of people to like metaphorically pull out and be like, yeah, I want to hang out with this person today. Boop, boop, boop. Let me go call them and see if they
Yeah.
want to hang out. And so I think finding myself in those isolated places of the in between a few years ago, it was devastating because in those moments I would say, well, if I just had more friends, if I just had more people, more someones in my life, I wouldn't have to be alone necessarily. I could
Mhm.
have people to pick and choose from, which again feels not good. Like, I don't like that I thought that way because it almost feels shallow. It feels like I'm just sort of picking someone out of this random list and not thinking about who they are and why I enjoy their company,
Mhm.
which I realized that is important to me. What they bring to my life is probably the biggest reason why I'm friends with the people that I'm friends with today, is because you bring something unique to the table. You challenge me in a way that I appreciate on a deeper level, and you encourage me to be somebody better than I was yesterday. And
Mhm.
so this idea that I was wrestling with, like, I would pray and I would just like be sobbing, just angry and resenting my life and my experiences for not having more friendships and not making more friends. And I don't think it was until maybe I was going through that therapy a few years ago that we kind of touched on why there's a lack of relationships in my life, both platonic and romantic, and just sort of navigating the maybe reasons behind it, but also trying to navigate to a better, uh, elevated opinion about it, and realizing that it's so okay for me to value quality and that maybe quantity will come at some point in my life, but quantity is never, and I don't think it's ever going to be at the forefront of my mind when I'm trying to make friends.
Yeah.
So,
No, I 100% agree. I think it also comes down to like personality. I
mm,
think that could be a whole nother like thing in itself to talk about, like a personality quiz or something. Because I definitely think that some personalities mesh well with other personalities.
stop, because that's another quiz that I've taken.
Oh, same. I don't
Oh my
remember what
gosh,
I
like the
am.
big one, the important one where it gives you the letters.
Yeah, the INTJ, whatever.
Okay, period. I'm
Yes.
so excited we have to do an episode on that.
Yes. So, yeah, I definitely think that that has to do with, personality too. I was, like, I've been thinking a little bit about it because I've always strived well, I don't wanna say I've always strived, but because that wouldn't make myself authentic, like, being
Mm,
myself.
mhm.
But I've always, like, looked up to people who had a lot of friends. I'm like, "Wow, like, something's wrong." Like, they're probably not genuine, you know? I don't know why I coincide genuinity?
Mm.
Genuineness? I don't know how to word that.
Genuinity.
Okay, genuinity. Um, I'm not sure. I coincide that with quantity as well. When you have a lot of friends, I just feel like you're not genuine, and I I used to think that way. I don't think that way
No, I
now.
get it.
I have met people who are just so personable, and they are genuine, and they love every single one of their people. And one person
Yes.
comes to mind from school. Everyone liked her. She was a great person. I felt like she was genuine. I think that she would just about do anything for anybody almost. And it never made me feel fishy about her because she made me feel like secure in our friendship. And then
Mhm.
seeing how like she was close with other people too, I'm like, wow, like I kind of looked up to her in school, you know? I think that's when I started losing, like, my, like, realness and my personality and stuff, and it's no one's fault, it's my all in my head and stuff. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But I definitely coincided those together. I don't anymore, but it was just a very big thing during school was, how can I be like that?
Mm,
But I shouldn't. You're different people, different personality type.
right.
Not everyone's gonna like you because you're different, and that different is okay. But I think that's where I started valuing quality and value friendships for different reasons. But I just love those people who are personable. I think it's awesome to have people like that in this world because anyone they talk to, anyone they hang out with and spend time with them, they make you feel valued. And I think that is just like a superpower. And some people possess it, and that's awesome. You have the quantity and you have the quality, and you make people feel so loved and valued. And I always wanted to be like that. I still value and love my people. Even if you don't like me, I still love you for who you are. We just don't connect, and that's so okay. But I think that was so hard to figure out. I mean, you don't figure that out when you're in school. You don't think about that stuff. But I figured it out like probably within a year or two, that it's not really about having a personality like that. I think you can change, but I also think that you are who you are. Your personality is pretty much the same throughout your life. Some people have to change, some people don't. But I definitely think that has a huge effect on quality and quantity.
Yeah. Um, I love that you mentioned it. I also have somebody that immediately came to mind that it was in my life during college and is still sort of in my life. We're trying to like reconnect, which I love. Um, but I think seeing that and like it is a superpower, it almost seems like. I think again, seeing that and seeing people be successful with being like a social butterfly and having people like flock to them and say like metaphorically like I want to be your friend almost,
Yeah.
but also being able to give the good parts of themselves to all of those people felt like a superpower, and it felt like something that I was missing out on. I was like, what do I have to do to get both? I want both the quantity and the quality. I want to be able to give
Yes.
all of myself to all these wonderful people that I might pass by in life. Like the girl experience at like a bar, and like you meet these people that I mean, you're just never gonna see again. But for the night, you guys are besties, and you're helping each other in the bathroom, and like you're fixing each other's hair, and like saying that, telling each other that they just look so beautiful and whatnot. But there's people that can do that and can have those experiences and go on to be like best friends and like travel and see each other and hang out and meet up. And I'm just like, I cannot relate, but I love that for you. I love that for you now. Back then, I would have just been like, this is bull. And I just want to cry over it all the time because it just felt so frustrating. Because I was like, okay, well, there's got to be a formula because this person is figuring it out. Why can't I? But I love that you sort of brought in the fact that we're just all different and it's okay to not connect with every single person that you meet. It's okay to value quality just as much as it's okay to value quantity. Um, I used to think it was also really shallow, but I think that those are the people that may say I'm able to give and divide myself to everybody in my life, which kudos to you. I love
Yeah.
that for you, and I please keep doing that because I think you do leave such a positive impact on every person that you meet, and I think that that is so cool and like able to be envied. But yeah, I'm beginning to really value just who I am and how I operate, and knowing that valuing quality is also just as cool. So,
Percent. I think also those people with the superpower, they don't really see quantity. I know it's weird to say, but I feel
mm,
like they just focus on that relationship with that person. I don't think I don't think they really think about quantity. This is just
Right.
my take
Right.
on it.
They're not out there
Yes,
going like, "Oh, I need 2 new friends tonight."
exactly. Yeah, so I generally gravitate towards the outgoing person in a situational group.
Mm.
Um, and I remember certain situation that I was in, and there was like a lot of people, and there was one person who stuck out in the group, and I it was like lunchtime, and so I was like, yeah, like I'll go up to her, ask her if she wants to have lunch, right? Go have lunch, end up like talking to her, hanging out, doing all the stuff, and then, excuse me, later on, figured out that it seemed as though she wanted everyone to like her,
Mm.
right? So I think it can be a negative thing as well, because in the end, I put my foot in my mouth, or I kicked my own butt, whatever you say, whatever the saying is. But she ended up not being like the nicest person during that time. And I kind of was like, I took a step back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's not always that outgoing person that I
Mm.
should be going towards, you know? And it was, I didn't want to say it like that, because she could be a very nice person. It was just during that time, it wasn't working out with us. It could have been a personality thing, but I think overall it was just she valued quantity for the wrong reasons
Mm.
and didn't really focus on value and quality in who she like really didn't care. And it was okay. It all worked itself out, but I do that in a lot of situations. Like I just feel as though I can be myself if I'm around someone who's outgoing, and that's maybe like the wrong way to go about it, you know? Maybe I should go for that quiet person who's sitting in the corner by themselves
Yeah.
and just like talk to them, you know? Because maybe they're like, I'm just waiting for someone to come talk to me.
Right.
And maybe we can build a good foundation of a friendship because we value the same things.
Right.
So that was just kind of like a downtake of quality versus quantity. I like that we're not so negative about the situation, but I think there's good and bad with everything, obviously. But I just wanted to share that little like bad part. And I think that's
Yeah.
like another reason why I value quality, because I don't think that I know I'm not that person who, if I did have a quantity amount of friendships, which I do have a take later on that, but I value everybody for who they are. I appreciate them for who they are, and sometimes it just doesn't click. We just don't click, and that's, again, it's okay. But it
Yeah.
took me so long to get there because I would take it so like hard, and I'd get so defensive and like, well, why can't we be friends? Like,
Mhm.
but it's really not that deep. It's just personality differences. They value that, you value this. You may value the same thing, but again, personality.
Right.
So I don't know. That was like a take I had
Right.
on
I
that.
wanted to comment on that because it made me think of one of the biggest struggles I think that I've had in this journey of accepting quality over quantity, desiring quality, desiring deeper connection. I think growing up, uh, I sometimes would accidentally step on people's toes, and I would totally unintentionally insert myself into somebody's really deep quality friendship, and it would almost seem like I was that girl that you were talking about, that I just wanted people to like me and I wanted a number of people to be in my life, when really I just had sort of this undeniable deep connection with this one person who happened to already be in a very quality friendship or relationship, well, not relationship, but friendship with this other person, but yet we had our own thing. me and this person that I found connection with. We found something to ground our friendship on,
Mhm.
and like we're not going to throw it away. We're not going to say, "Oh, we're going to ignore it. We can't be friends." Uh but there would be times like maybe this person would hang out with me or invite me over or like whatever, and I just felt like there was sort of this animosity with
Mhm.
other people who were already friends with them, saying like, "Oh, that's my someone, go find your own someone."
Yeah.
And that was so hard for me because it was never intentional, and I think uh I just felt so guilty in those moments for having a connection with that person, but also because I had found it, I held on to it for dear life as well. So that was a huge struggle for me as well. I think later on in my life, something that I ended up wrestling a lot with, almost related back to what I just had talked about, was sort of the comparison. I felt like when I got the friend or I got the partner, that because of my past experiences, there was something that I had to bring to the table that was
Mhm.
more than these other people that were like competing. I don't know. Or I had to like stand out and bring something super special so that this person would want to stay in my life because I felt insecure. Uh, and I felt sort of that lingering guilt of like, oh, I've maybe intruded on friendships in the past that I didn't mean to, but I still want to provide this very intimate connection with this person. I don't want to step on toes maybe like I have done in the past, but I'm just going to really try to stand out and be someone special that they can't deny that they want in their life. Um so it was just a lot of insecurities, like I have to do something to make them want to stay. And I'm just saying hello to episode 1 where we talk about love and crushes and how I've done that with romantic partners in the past. Like I've gotten the guy and then I've given all of me all too soon.
You like
And
fully insert yourself, you fully dive in and you give it
yeah,
all. Yeah.
yeah, give it all, because I think that that equates to, oh, they're going to see me more and they're going to see my value more in this relationship. So
Yeah.
I wanted to say that in lieu of you speaking about that person, because I feel like maybe I've been the villain in someone's story in that way without even trying, and it's been hard to deal with that over the years. But I think I've become more confident in like what I do bring to friendships, and so therefore I'm not sorry that I make connections with this person or that person, um because
Right.
it just happens naturally. And when you when it's factual and it's natural, there's just no denying it. There's no pointing fingers and blaming people, because it is what it is. So yeah, that just was making me think on that. So
No, I get it, and I don't think that you're comparable to this girl in my story. I don't think that your intentions um are negative impacting. I think that you go in with pure intentions and making connections with friends. I don't think that it's like in the way this girl was. I think she liked and craved attention in
mm,
a negative way, and I don't think you're like that. But also, again, I just think it might have been a personality clash with more than one person. But I did want to kind of pivot a second since I'm kind of like on a not trying to be completely negative, but I think like these are struggles that come with quality and quantity. And
mm-hmm,
one that came to mind was, the downfall of maybe having less quantity of friends. Yeah. But having like wholehearted quality with them and like knowing that y'all have strong relationships. is that, we all have our lives and we're not always able to be together, and I think that was such a struggle with having not a lot of friends, but having like quality with them and like strong relationships is, that's when I started thinking, like, do I expand like my friends? Like, I need to make new ones.
Mm,
And the feeling of like, well, I don't want to make new ones because I have the friends that I think I need.
right.
But it's just hard because I don't with again, like not having a lot of friends, the one's working, you want to hang out. You're like one's working, one lives far away, some are just tired and some just need time for themselves.
Hmm.
And I think that's hard for me because I'm like, well, then I'm stuck at home doing nothing because my friends are busy. They're doing their thing. And again, that's where I'm like, do I need to expand? And
Right.
that like brings me to the question at the end of the pod I was going to speak about, but I think that now is like a good time to think about it and you can let me know later. But is it okay to is it possible to have a large quality quantity in something, friends, what have you, but still have that quality factor?
Mm,
Like my example was, having different friends, like different friend groups and like having a lot of friends, like having quantity of them, but also having that quality friendship in different ways.
that's a great question.
Because I feel like I'll just like elaborate really quickly.
Go
I
for
believe
it,
I
please.
have different friend groups, work, home, different home groups, and I value each and every group and person individually. So where I say I don't have like a large quantity of friends, I think I'm thinking of one group when I say that
Mm,
because it varies, like you get together when you can, but you value each other. Then you don't see each other for like months. But I
hmm.
value the quality time I have with them, even though we're such a small quantity of a group. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I wanted everyone to think about that because I know everyone says like, no, I'd rather have two friends than 10 that like have no value with each other.
Right.
But I feel like you can have 10, but you got three here, you got four
Mm,
here, and you have three over here. And you value each and
wow.
every group. And where you think you don't have a lot of friends, I think it's because you're thinking of one individual group, but you do. And you value them and you love them. And so, yeah, I was thinking about that so
I
hard.
I love that. I love that you brought that up. That has made me think so much differently or like so much deeper about that question. I love the like what I'm envisioning and I think that that's so true. I think for myself, I would say just personally, it's not that. It's not that I don't believe that it can happen. I think that it can be true and I think you gave me a perspective on it that I wasn't thinking about in which it can be true where you say, oh, I have quality friendships, maybe not quantity, but then you think about other friend groups and you realize, oh, like maybe I do have a number of friends that is larger than what I thought before. For me, it really is just very few. I think what I define as friendship in my own head, in my own heart, is what makes it true for me. And what makes it different. Because, yeah, I'm thinking about my own definition and what I believe friendship to be, and I would say like it really is able to be counted on one hand, and that's okay. And I love that, but I love that you gave me a new perspective on it because maybe one day I'll be able to sit here and say like, oh, I have quality friendships. But when I think about the different people in my life and where they fit into my life, work, personal, maybe an activity that I'm involved in or whatever, like, I don't know. I get to say that I have a bigger number of friends. But yeah, so that was interesting. And I think what I actively think about, maybe it's not necessarily a struggle, but it it does ruminate in the back of my mind when I'm faced with thinking more actively about my friendships, or I'm faced with a situation where I'm deciding if someone's going to be a close friend. I think something that I grapple with is having this experience of almost being rejected, in the sense that there's people in my life, and even now, like, actively I'm thinking of one person, and it's really hard. There's people in my life that I have desired so badly to be their friend. They've maybe come into my life and it was for a specific situation, like you had mentioned. Like, there's people that come into your life and they're there for reasons. I think this person came at a time in my life where it meant so much to me to have her around, and yet the desire on my end was so high to be someone that she was really close with and that I was really close with her. And I keep giving and doing the thing where I give myself and I make myself so available. I'm talking, I could be on my deathbed and the person that I want to be so badly friends with, or I want to like elevate our friendship and I want to be a person that's added to their list, or I want to move up on their list. They could call and be like, hey, like, let's go out for lunch. Let's do, like, spontaneously call me up and ask me to do something. And I could literally be sick as a dog and I'll still be like, yes, immediately. Yes, I'm going out and we can hang out, because I do reach sort of this area of desperation almost with certain people that I really want in my life. And I don't know if you've heard of Maddie's she has this song called Fat Funny Friend. And I'm not saying that I feel like the fat funny friend, but there is this lyric in that song that says, if I don't answer now, are they still gonna need me? Girl,
So true.
that lyric resonated so hard with me. And that's how I feel. I feel like if I'm not 100% available to the people that I want in my life most, especially in regards to platonic relationships, I'm afraid that they're going to do the thing where they're like, oh, Tiana's not available, I'll just pick someone else and I won't really ask her again, or like I'll metaphorically move down on their list. So they have this like hierarchy, and when we do hang out and we have a good time, I feel actively that I'm moving up on this metaphorical list that's happening. And then as soon as the day that I just can't, I'm busy, I actually have something to do, which is what makes it frustrating, because usually I am at home. Usually I am doing absolutely nothing and I'm waiting for that call per se, for someone to say, hey, come out, like, come hang out. I want to see you. I miss you. And so that call rarely comes. And literally it happens usually on a day where I'm actually doing something. I'm actually getting myself out there, whether it's with another friend or it's solo and doing something for myself. And then that person will call and I'll leave everything at the drop of a hat to say, oh yeah, I can make it. Yeah, I can show up, because I want this person to value me so badly. And it's hard accepting that while this list only exists in my head, I think since the beginning, since I've been a child and always struggling to make friends, because I always struggled with knowing that I valued quality, I've struggled with people having a lot of someone's. And it was sort of this desperation to be someone's top someone. But there's this voice that's like, Tiana, it's okay. They can have other friends. It doesn't mean that they value you less. They just have a lot of other people that they value too, that bring something to their life that they want in their life. And you just have to trust in what you bring. And you have to be okay with them not always calling you first. And it's still an ongoing struggle for me. I mean, I can, like,
Girl, same.
pretty much the closest people in my life, I've told them and I've been honest with them. It's hard for me to reach out to you to hang out because I'm afraid of you saying, oh, I'm busy. Because to me, that's like, I feel embarrassed almost. I'm like, oh, of course you'd be busy. You have a lot of people and you have like, yeah, you'd be busy. Sorry, like to even bother you. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a really big insecurity.
I feel the same way. I definitely struggle with that a lot too to this day. I think it's hard when you put your best foot forward, you put all of you in front of their face, and they're still like, I don't know, like, you want to be, like you said, you want to be their number one, and they're pretty much number one in your head. And when
Yes.
you're like asking them, like, hey, I want to hang out. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to go do this with so and so. And then you're like, they didn't even think to ask me.
Ooh.
And you're like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, sorry. That kills me so bad. And then like my mood is just dampened for the day because you're like, I value you and our friendship so much. Why? What am I doing wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong that makes you not want to come to me first and be like, hey, what are you doing? You want to hang out? When I value, I am a quality time person. I want to hang out with you. Like, when we get along, I want to hang out with you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love friendships that feed off of each other in the best ways.
Yes.
Like, I
Yeah.
love when you guys are just like, hey, want to go shopping? Hey, you want to just like hang out and read? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just knowing that you guys value each other and just, even though they have all these people, they want to hang out with you. And that is such a struggle. Everything you were saying, I'm like, yes, yes. It's such a back and forth
Yes.
thing in your head, and you're just like, that's not the case. They do have other friends, and you still might be their number one. Like, they're with you a lot of the time. It's just that you have to know when to like give space. To me, that's like screaming, I need space. And I know that's not me
Mm.
like necessarily the reason for hanging out with someone else, because I don't want to devalue their friendship in any way. It's just like, oh, okay. But
Yeah.
it's like not a horrible thing. I think it, like, it makes you real, like, and I think it makes you such a caring person
Right.
when you are like that. Like, it's a tough back and forth battle.
It is. It's hard accepting that you just will not be everyone's number one,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially the people that you really want to be their number one.
Yep. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I did want to pivot a little bit because I know I mentioned how I see this topic in work life as well.
Mm.
Um, for me and what I do for work, I think it's hard to balance quality and quantity in terms of life. Um, I could work more and make more money, but I value quality of life. So I'm like, okay, let me pick up more trips. Let
Mm-hmm.
me like do this so then I can, have money for my future. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to be home. I value family time. And just because I'm getting this quantity of a lot of trips and just like working so much for money, I want to have that quality of life, like being home. And that was just like one thing that did come to my head. It did pertain to quality and quantity. So I can see where people also could have that like friction with their life and how it can be difficult, like quality of life versus quantity of work and preparing for your future in terms of finances. Because when you work, it's pretty much about money. So
Yeah.
that's where it's like finances, quality of life, how to make it a good balance. So it's not necessarily like I'm a quality person in the sense or a
Right.
quantity. It can be because some people that I work with are like, I work all this. And I'm like, so when do you do this or when do you do that? Well, for them, that's just what works in their life. Like they don't have animals, family lives far away. They don't see them that often. So their values are just different. And I
Yeah.
feel like in a work situation, it is probably just as tough as like relationships in your life.
Yeah.
But
Thank
then,
you for bringing that
yes,
up. Go for it.
of
Yeah, yeah.
course. I also was thinking like we talked about it last night about this is why I'm so glad we chose this topic because we unknowingly were talking about it and we were like, how do we be our most authentic self and
Mm,
also knowing when it's not like a good time because we want to push out episodes every week just because we love to talk to each other and talk about relatable things according to what our podcast is about.
right.
But there's also the times where we're like, we just won't be able to put our best foot forward. So our quality aspect goes higher than the
Mm.
quantity because we're like, we could push out an episode every single day if we really wanted to, but the quality might go down. And we're like, we might get burnt out and we might not give our best selves, you know?
The quality would absolutely go down
It would
if
diminish
we were pushing them
severely.
out every day because no editing would happen, no taking in consideration like the aesthetics
Exactly.
of it all. So
100%. And then that's when we start beating ourselves up and we're like, no one's gonna like us. And that's just being completely transparent with you guys.
yeah.
But we're just trying to like do our best and where we would like our quantity number to go up, the quality is just more important to us right
It
now.
has to be priority. And
Yeah.
I thank you for our conversation yesterday and really setting my sights back on that. I'm not going to go into it because I know that we have some more stuff that we wanted to share, but it was just a really good conversation. And I'm so glad that you brought that into it because it relates so well. Um, just, it's important to care about quality. And I think when you do, which is something that I need to repeat to myself in my head, when you care about quality, I think quantity will follow because you're being your authentic
Yes.
self. You're putting your best foot forward, and people will respond to that who are meant to. Just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and I love that you brought in the work aspect too. I'm not going to go super into that either because I know that we have takeaways and stuff to do. But I love, love, love to think about that in that realm where, because I'm the same way. I have quit jobs when I was not financially stable because I valued my peace and I valued my quality of life. I wasn't happy. And I taken on a job now where it follows a school year schedule. And so I have chunks of time throughout the school year where I'm off. I have a whole 2 months in the summer where I'm off.
Yeah.
And even though I'm transitioning to a new part of my journey now where I can fill in those gaps, it still is my utmost priority to always have a quality of life and to love my life and to still love what I do and not burn myself
Yes.
out because I want more of this or more of that. I want more stuff. I want a better car. I want, I want a better this or like quality. If
Yes.
I'm not happy it doesn't matter. And I've put so much pride and confidence into that mindset,
Mm-hmm.
whereas people in my life would not necessarily disagree, but they would uh maybe, I don't know, maybe warn me to be more conscientious about it or cautious about it. But, you know,
Yeah.
yet I still continue to choose myself, and I'm proud of that. So I love that you brought in the work aspect of it and taking trips for your situation and stuff like that. That is absolutely a part of quality versus quantity discussion, for sure.
Yes. And I'm glad you did highlight that you want to be happy, because I definitely think that if you, some people can handle it, some people can't, but if you raise the quantity, the quality goes way down and it's hard to get it back, and then
Mm.
you
Mm-hmm.
like start to hate your job and hate what you do. I don't want to hate what I do. I love what I
Right.
do, but when I start working a lot because of just how the schedule happened, I get burnt out and I'm like, I need to take a break. I need to take a step back just for a couple days and then I'm ready to dive back in, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that is very important too. You don't want to get burnt out.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, in conclusion, do you want
I
to,
know.
what did
I'm
you
ready to
get out
wrap
of this?
up.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Um, my new perspective, I would say, that has started formulating maybe within the last 2 years, for sure. It's getting stronger. Um, in general, I'm just so much more appreciative of quality. I'm appreciative of quantity too, especially after this discussion. I really value sort of the perspective that you gave to me on it. And so I just want to thank you for that. But I value my values. I value that I like quality and I search for quality in my relationships in my life. And I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to get to do what I love, which is devoting my most authentic and fullest self to, maybe it will be a few people that I can count on my hand for the rest of my life. But as long as it feels real and it feels vulnerable and intimate, I think that that's going to be treasured until I die. That's just how I show my love best. That's how I give myself best. I don't want to give like a large number of people little breadcrumbs of me. I want someone to have me fully and have my attention and just know me to the very depths. I think it speaks to my love language, quality time, like we talked about last week. I just value deep connection, intimate connection. And so if that means that I only find that with few people, that hopefully the ones that I have now stay for the rest of my life, but as I flow through life and as they may change, I hope that I continue to get to do that, and tap into my love language with
Mm-hmm.
every single relationship that I enter into. And I just hope I get to continue to explore that with more people that come into my life. But I'm really happy with the people that I do have in my life, and I'm very satisfied. And I think that that's allowed me to come to a good place with my values of being more focused on quality. And I'm able to accept that. I'm able to articulate that with confidence. So yeah, that makes me feel good, for sure. And I think, funny enough, uh, as I discovered my love language and it gave me the space to understand why I've valued quality so highly, um, I think where before in my life I valued quantity for the wrong reasons, I valued quantity because I thought it meant more value to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel empowered to say that I value quantity because having a number of people in my life would open up my perspectives. It would give me more perceptions to consider. It would just be cool to connect with more people. I don't know, it would just, there's more to see. I feel like I would understand more, learn more, and see more if I had more people in my life. So that's now what's shifted with me for quantity is it's not that I think quantity equals my value. It's I'm seeing quantity equaling value in other people and how they bring a fresh new perspective into my life. And so that's now why I kind of crave it and desire it. But I realize, and I think the question really poses kind of a big challenge, like to think about, can you have both? Can you simultaneously have a lot of people that you just hold that deep connection with? I don't know. I just think overall it's just important to decide that for yourself and just surround yourself with people that are quality to you. If that means that it's a large number or a very small number, that it's okay, whatever it looks like. And it's just important that those people that you invite into your personal space just be there for you and support you in the best ways. Yeah, that's kind of what I'll leave my that's kind of what I'll leave off at for people
Yeah,
to ponder, I guess. So,
that's all
what
good.
about you?
Um, I think that overall, you've got one side and the other. I mean, point blank, it's quality, quantity. Some people value one, some people value both, and it's okay. I think we've been saying that this whole time. It's okay to feel and do as you will. I just like overall for me, I think about that and how it plays into my life to this day. And I think it just pertains to like what our podcast is about, like being in the in between, like throughout your life it's going to ebb and flow. I don't think I'm
Mm-hmm.
hard one way, hard the other. I think that throughout your life you're going to value one or the other in different times in different stages throughout your life. And yeah, I just everyone values different things, and I've learned a lot from this topic. And I'm glad you brought it to light because it's not something you think about every day. You know, it's not like, would that person be my friend? Should I add them
Mm.
to the list? You know, as you were mentioning. And it's like, I don't want a list. I don't want like to have to, okay, who's available this day? And I know it's hard because
Yeah.
I just said, you know, I struggle with, do I need to make different friends in this area because this group's busy, this group's with their other people. Who do I have?
Mm.
And it's hard, especially if you have just different friends, but you're all like you're in your group because they could be hanging out with, you know, their friends, and then that person's hanging out with their friends, but your friends came together and are friends. And then I have friends that live far away, and I've got friends that see each other all the time, and it's hard, but you know, it's life. And you got to deal with it. It's a hard pill to swallow, just like we said before. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's going to ebb and flow. You just articulated everything very well in what we talked about. And I think you just took the words out of my mouth, really. Um, I know you had your personal thoughts and experiences and what you said. Um, However, I think again, it's just what it is for me. I mean, I think it's like out of sight, out of mind for the most part. But talking about it really made me think about like quality for sure.
Mm.
I'm not worried about the quantity. That can come later, but right now it's like I want quality friends in my life right at this moment. But I love all my people that I have. And so
Yeah.
that poses the question again. And I think we should post that on our website and maybe the Instagram story. The question is, do you
Absolutely.
guys think it is possible to have a large quantity in something but still have that quality factor? Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm getting them confused again, but the example again was having different friend groups. So you do have the quantity, but also having quality friendships in each group.
Yeah.
Let us know, because I'm curious.
Please. Oh, so am I. I would love
Maybe,
to hear a variety of responses. I'm
yeah,
sure that there's going to be a big range of them. So
I'd love
please
to
feel
hear the different
free.
perspectives for sure.
Yes. Um, yeah, please feel free to check out the website where you can answer that question. And you can find that in our Instagram bio, which we are at Between the Pod on Instagram. If you don't know, please give us a follow, give us a like if you like the content that you're seeing. If you're liking the episodes, which you can watch either on YouTube with the captions, or you can always listen on Spotify, which is audio only. On those platforms as well, if you can, give us a subscription, a like, a comment. Let us know how you're liking the podcast. If there's anything you want to see ever, just leave a comment under any of our Instagram posts, or in the website. There is also a form that you can fill out that can be submitted straight to our email with any ideas that you have or any feedback. We just welcome all of it. We thank you so much for listening. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate you. We know that we had a lot to say on this topic, but I think that we really gave two very rich perspectives. So I'm very proud of what we've said tonight, and we just appreciate you all for listening always and forever. I think that does it for tonight.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I don't. Just can't wait for the next episode, and we hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.